And thanks for joining us for AM Talk. And the ongoing load shedding exercise that country is experiencing is taking quite a toll on businesses, from small-scale enterprises to multinationals. The inability to provide constant electricity is driving many out of businesses as they are unable to find alternative power sources or can no longer accommodate the rising operational costs involved. But same cannot be said of all the businesses, as there are some who seem to be making quite a fortune following that. Well, so we have difficulties, but the main difficulties is whether solar is produced by collecting sunlight and also converting all that into electronic energy. In the meantime, though, is the alternative solar, and that's what we've been asking as far as we're concerned. Now, we bring you a detailed story as we continue our discussions today with our crusading engineer, Robert Wood, and he will be talking to us about where the alternative is lying, that whether solar is always a cheaper alternative energy source. And with government attempting to attract more IPPs or the independent power producers, we ask the broad question: when should the investment be made and where should it be going? Solar, nuclear, or other nuclear alternatives as far as energy is concerned. So we'll bring a detailed story on solar and then we'll continue with our discussions.
Ghanaians are having to come to terms with the fact that the erratic electricity supply problem is not ending yet, so that one is very likely to come across households as well as businesses finding ways around the problem when electricity is unavailable from the national grid. Generators are often the main option for many, but the relatively high fuel prices are making people reconsider that option. For now, though, the genset dealers still seem to be making some good money from the business.
Actually, the business is going on, but there's no generators in town. So it had made the price has, because there's no shortage in the market, so the prices.
The prices are high?
Yeah. And actually, with the dealers complain, because when you go to buy, the price is up.
So has that reduced the demand for the generators?
Actually, everybody is doing in whatever he or she can do to get the power, because their work is going down. So we don't know where they get their money, but they are patronizing it.
There's a possibility, however, that the situation may not remain same for long, as the option of solar is fast catching on with Ghanaians. The solar business appears to be so attractive, it's drawing some workers in the formal sector, such as Annie Nkulenu, a deputy registrar at one of the country's private universities. She deals in solar-powered lamps.
It's good. Business is very good. But the issue is that you need a lot of convincing, a lot of marketing, a lot of talking to be able to let people understand how good it is. But it's even picked up because of the light-off issues. It is very lucrative. It is very lucrative, but if you look at it in two ways, if people buy it and just pay for it immediately, then you can say it's very lucrative. Although I don't have the time to always go and market it, the little that I do, at least I could sell 5 to 10 boxes a week, probably, yes. And in a box is about 5 pieces.
Foster Edudate is also a businessman whose line of trade has always been the sale of solar-powered gadgets. He says his business has already seen more than a 30% jump in sales this year alone. From solar-powered lamps to solar-powered fans and radio sets, Foster is hoping to cash in for as long as the energy crisis persists. He's even confident business will continue to be good, even if the situation improves as promised.
Business has been good over the past couple of years, but with the advent of Dumsor, it's really increased the sales in the graded communities. Normally what we do is off-grid communities, because we provide lighting. Actually what we do is providing lighting, solar lighting for communities that do not have lights. We are reaching out to the island communities, the overburn, there are front plains, there are down areas and all. So all those areas, they don't have light on the island, so they are our main focus and they are buying. But the good thing is that the Dumsor is still allowing people in the graded community to buy. So if the Dumsor maybe it goes off, still we still have our market.
TradeWorks Company Limited is also specialized in solar panel installation for companies. The company has in the past few months set up systems for several banks, beach resorts, as well as secondary and tertiary institutions, with a lot more waiting in line. The company says its projections for the year will see a 50% jump in revenue compared to that of last year.
Well, so we have in the studio Engineer Wood, and Engineer Robert Wood, a Crusading engineer, had been advocating for solar energy provision over the excessive investments we're making into the other alternative sources. But we'll come back and discuss the subject of solar energy, but also mainstream energy, because something is happening. We're just getting some feedback from the news wires, from our reporters, satellite reporters we have around. And one currently is at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, where workers of the construction company undertaking the interchange at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle are currently picketing or demonstrating. And we want to go over to our reporter and get an insight into what really has been happening or is happening currently at the Nkrumah Circle.
Pay for you. And now we don't need the link. Drop the link from our...
They say it's not their concern. We wrote to them, and the brother gave to us that it's not their concern.
You wrote to who in particular? Did you write to Delin or you wrote to Kiros?
To settle our grievances, which they told us that it's not their matter.
You think some people are stealing your money unfairly?
Yes. Delin HR Council.
So how much are you supposed to receive originally? How much are you supposed to receive, and how much are you being given?
Actually, we work for overtime. So due to that, you can't know the actual salary. But your brothers, your friend before you meet. At the end of the month, you could see that I'm your friend, but I receive maybe 1,700 Ghana, and you will receive maybe 850 Ghana cedis. Once we are all doing one work on one project.
The Kiros workers persist.
So let me find out from you.
1,008.
Okay.
The Kiros workers get 8,000.
I understand what you're saying, but let me find out from you.
The link, when they pay our money to rest, then the link will go and
the whole issue is they transfer the salary to the agent's office, which is unlawful.
Okay. So I want to find out, what are you seeking to achieve with this demonstration? You are saying
what you are saying is, once we are all working on one project, the collective agreement cover the company workers should cover us, so that we will earn one salary, we won't get one redundancy, one transport, and one canteen. Everything should be equal. Should be equal. Yes.
Go to the yard. I beg you.
Yes. No, it's not fair. It's not fair. But he have audacity to employ and collect his percentage from the company. But as for the workers' salary, you don't have right to take it to his office before you bring it back to us.
Let me find out from you whether or not you've spoken to Delin, the company that actually employs.
For several times, what they told us is that they pay what the company ordered them to pay us. But we realize that they are lying, because every month our co-workers receive higher salary than us. And the difference is about 700 to 800 Ghana cedis. Once we are all working on one project, how? How is it so?
They have automatic. They know they are not part of this agent matter. We need them here to...
Let me try and book.
No police care.
And initially they want to call the agent so that we solve the differences and make up. The information reaches to us that the agent has insulted the police commander, the whole regional commander of the state. He has insulted us. Therefore, the police should come and assist us.
Joy. You see, I'm the apostle. That's a problem. The brown. That's serious.
what he said.
So we're bringing to you live pictures from the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, where workers of Crises Gavaro, they are the contractors undertaking the main project, the interchange project, the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. We know that the project, worth some 74 million euros, is expected to be completed in more than a year. And already there are signs that the workers are not happy. But we have to make it clear, the workers were not employed or engaged by the construction company. They were engaged through an HR consulting firm. And so usually this is what the arrangement is. The construction company will then pay a management fee to the HR firm, and the HR firm will then pay subsequently the workers who have been hired. Now, according to what we've heard, the workers have had difficulties with the way payments have been negotiated with some of their colleagues, because they don't have stipulated payment regimes as far as the ratings are concerned. And so some workers have had differences in what they collect, even though they claim that they do the same type of work. And so that's the difficulty they're having. They are saying that they're having a lot more disagreement with the way the HR consulting firm that employed them for the company, Crises Gavaro, undertook the payment structure or regime for the workers who have been employed. And so they feel that they don't see reason to their concerns. And so the current picketing we are witnessing. And these are live pictures, again, we're bringing to you from the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, where we have workers who are working on the interchange at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, worth some 74 million euros, currently demonstrating over their salaries or their emoluments. So we'll try to get a lot more feedback from that very demonstration ground at the construction site where we're having the interchange being built at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle.